First off, do not climb a fucking ladder like this. This may look right, but don't climb it like this as well. And if I see you climbing a ladder like this, all hope may be lost for you. Now you may be asking, after seeing all these different ways to climb a ladder, how the fuck are you supposed to climb a ladder then? Because that looks exactly like how I climb the ladder. Well, keep watching, so I'm gonna teach you everything you could ever need to know about how to climb a ladder and all the other bonus tips and tricks you could need. The very first thing that I'm going to talk about when it comes to ladders is the entry of a ladder. This is something that if you're a movement player, non-movement player, you should always be doing this because this is just a quick, easy way to gain a few extra milliseconds every single time you're going up a ladder. All this involves is jumping at the ladder before you're about to get onto it. You do this to save that few extra milliseconds than just climbing it from the very bottom. This is very simple to do and everybody should be doing it. Next, I'm going to talk about attaching to ladders. Every time you jump into the ladder, make sure you're pressing some type of movement key. If you're not pressing any like W or A or whatever key that you're moving in towards the ladder, you just won't stick to it at all. It's like you won't touch nothing and you'll just fall. Later on, I'll go into it, but this is actually useful for a different movement tech. I don't use it too much personally, but a lot of pros do end up using this. Now we're going to talk about the act of actually climbing the ladder once you've attached to it. The way that you're supposed to do this is hold either W or A or W and D and look at about a 45-degree angle while staring directly up on the ladder. So if you were to climb it with W and A, you would be looking at this angle to the right. If you wanted to fast climb with W and D, you would look at about this angle to the left. There's pros and cons that we're about to go into when I get into exiting the ladders on why you may want to hold W and D or why you may want to hold W and A. And you can also do the same thing upside down if you didn't know. So if you wanted to fast climb with S and A, you could look like this, or S and D like this. If you're doing upside down though, you're gonna have to start worrying about upside down exits, and that's something that I will not teach you, and you're gonna go have to play hide and seek to learn for yourself. To show off why you need to be holding a strafe key on top of W whenever you're going up a ladder, it's because it just makes you move so much faster. It's what we call fast ladder climbing. Just holding W we call regular ladder climbing, compared to W plus a movement key is a fast ladder climb. And as you can see in the examples in the background, holding the movement key is far faster than just holding W. Now comes to exiting the ladder, which is the hardest thing for the random players in my games to understand. This is the part that loses so much time and is the most annoying thing in the world. Just by doing this better than the average player, you can gain almost a full second worth of timings, and you can use this to lobby crunch the shit out of T's. Now before you get started even practicing any exits, I want you to make sure you're comfortable with just jumping on the ladder and holding W and A or W and D all the way up it and going out the ladder like this. Exits are a more advanced strategy and not everybody will be able to do them properly. This nuke ladder I'm showing you though is the simplest ladder to learn an exit though, and everybody should know how to exit on this one properly. Now the first thing you should do if you want to start practicing your exits is go into the console and type in get pause. This will give you a command that every time you type it, it'll teleport you to where you're standing. You should put your get pause around here because this is going to give you the actual muscle memory of how you should climb your ladder when you're actually in game. Now going back to the console, with this get pause command, it's going to give you a set pause command that's going to TP you to wherever you need to be. I'm going to copy this text right here. You can hover over it and then right click it and hit copy selected text. I'm missing a 0 there at the end, but that's not too important. Here you can just copy and paste it into the command bar by pressing Ctrl V. At the start of this, you're going to bind it to a key, so I'm going to do bind G. This is my drop command normally. If you want to put it on any other key, you can do whatever key you want. I'll just rebind drop later. This is what I normally like to use when I TP. Now, every time you press that key that you binded the set pause command to, you'll be teleported to whatever location you're at when you type get pause. Now from here I've enabled my hand cam because this hand movements can be a little bit confusing once I get to the far more advanced portion of exiting the ladder, but the basic portion that I already had said everybody should know is very simple to do, and this is going to be done with W and D climb is what I see most people do it with, but learning it this way might be simpler, but I think it will make you worse off in the long run if you only W and D climb ladders. So the method for doing this W and D fast climb exit properly is you want to be able to move your mouse to the right in a pretty fluid motion exactly once you reach the top portion of the ladder. I'm going to put a paint document on screen to try to describe a little bit of what you're trying to do and accomplish by moving your mouse to the right. You want to figure out that point at the top of the ladder. When you move your mouse to the right, it makes your character get out of that state of going straight up on the ladder and moving right on the ladder. And this happens when you move your mouse more towards the right. If you do this too early, you'll hit that blue line, which is the edge of the roof. So you want to make sure you find this perfect point on the ladder, which is the red circle, which you'll just have to figure it out by practicing where it is on the ladder that you'll have to exit like this on. Now I'm going to go into W and A climb exits on the ladder. This is my preferred way of doing it, because on this ladder mainly, you'll have far more space to be able to air strafe if you want to add that into the ladder exits. So to get started, it's essentially the same exact thing. You're going to run and jump up the ladder holding W and A, and just move your mouse to the right. I fucked it up there, goddammit. I'm going to actually open up my console and type in the command host_timescale 0.5. This makes everything move at half the normal speed. Make it a little bit slow motion to showcase more what I'm trying to do. Go up the ladder, hold W and A to get to the top, move your mouse to the right, and it'll flick you off in this direction like that. So now I have it in absolutely insanely slow motion. We're at 0.1 speed here. Just to showcase you what I'm talking about, I'm not changing any movement keys to change the direction I'm moving on the ladder. If I hold W and A, the angle that I'm going to move at here on the ladder is straight up. Oh, I'm going actually a little bit to the left at that angle. So I'm going to hold W and A while I'm going up. And once I get to the top, I'm going to move my mouse to the right. And as my mouse, you can see, I'm getting a little bit closer, and I've already moved to this portion of the ladder. I'm going to keep looking where I was, keep holding W and A, and now I'm getting off, flying this way. This goes to show how you move the direction where you're coming off the ladder from. This also gets into how you convert the vertical speed going off the ladder straight up into converting it into horizontal by going off the side. So at this point, you should have a pretty basic understanding of how to get off the ladder quickly and not be in your teammate's way who will be climbing up behind you some rounds on Nuke. The reason why I titled this KZ ladder strafing is because this portion is applicable to even KZ players, but all of this information is going to be useful for matchmaking as well. I said earlier in the video that if you only W and D fast climb, you may fall into a bad habit of not being able to W and A fast climb, and on this ladder in specific, it can be problematic. In this advanced portion, when you're trying to come off the ladder, your goal is to go to the right and then hold A and strafe to the left as well. So instead of exiting just here, exiting somewhere in this area. Going with W and D, have like little to no space to accomplish this. And then here, if you try to come off this ladder to the right, you'll be actually going backwards. So to end up coming this way, you need to just do a wider strafe this way and let go of W. So you're having to do a backwards D strafe to get all the way here. So from this point forward, I'm gonna explain only everything in W and A fast climb terms, since this ladder is gonna be W and A fast climb to ladder strafe only for the most part. If you W and D fast climb on any other ladder or any other KZ map, then you can just do what I'm doing but in reverse. So as I said earlier, your goal when getting off the ladder is to go to the right, and then you want to air strafe to the left. The first portions that I taught earlier was to hold W and A and move your mouse to the right. Once you get off of this ladder, the exact timing is once you get off of this ladder is when you want to let go of W and start moving your mouse to the left to go into a air strafe left. I've been doing a lot of this at half time scale, which feels really weird to me. I have it in normal time scale now, so as you can see, I got here off of the ladder, which is the end goal. I don't want to go to the right, I want to go as far to the left, honestly, as possible, so made it here. So for this part, I've hopped into Momentum mod to showcase actual fast ladder climbing and ladder strafing, because whenever you're playing on CS vanilla settings, the ladder climb speed is lower than what it normally is for movement servers, and the air strafing value is set to 12, so you can't do as much air strafing, but this is still applicable in vanilla, everything from this point forward, slightly. And if you don't know what Momentum mod is, it's actually just a free source engine based game that you can download on Steam. I'll leave a link in the description where you can boot up Bhop maps, surf maps, KZ maps. They even have TF2, Rocket Jump, and Sticky Jump, and even Half-Life 2, ABH, and multiple other movement modes from Quake, and trying to port even Titanfall movement in. So if you're interested, you should check it out. Alright, if you're still watching at this point in the video, I'm gonna assume that you understand the fundamentals of ladder strafing. You're probably a KZ player or some type of other movement mode player. You should be able to just do basic ladder strafes like this without even needing to air strafes. From now on, I'll also blow up my movement keys just so you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. But you should just be able to do the basic ladder strafes exactly like this every time. This is a 110 ladder block. Let me put it up to about 130. There we go, 130. Let me try 140 now. Okay, this is starting to get pretty far. And this is how far you can go on KZ vanilla settings. Let me put it all the way up to 150. My peak, I was able to do about 150 with perfect ladder exits. This is the part of ladders that so many people are bad at. They think all you gotta do is just get off the ladder and start strafing to make it far, but even I strafed and I just failed that gap. The most important part is making sure that you get a good exit off the top of this ladder. Now the main things to focus on your exit are your diagonal speed, so pulling out to the right and getting yourself a certain amount of horizontal speed, but not going completely to the side, because then you're not high enough to make it to the block. And 2, this is the most underlooked part that so many people forget about, and that honestly is the reason why I see a lot of people who are terrible at ladder strafing who should be relatively decent, is the fact that once you get off of this ladder, you're holding your W and A key or W and D, whatever direction you're going in. People don't realize how quickly you get off that ladder, and you gotta let go of W and start turning your air strafe directly towards whatever block you're trying to make. Getting good enough at your directs and leaving this fast enough, you can make a 150 ladder jump without even needing to air strafe. And then the very last thing to add into all of this is that I haven't explained yet, but is air strafing. If you don't know how to air strafe, you need to look up a long jump tutorial or something first before you learn how to air strafe off of the ladder. But the air strafing portion of the ladder is far less important in my opinion than just learning the fundamental basics of coming off of the ladder. But once you get used to it, it's just regular strafing. I'm pretty bad at this right now. Let me lock in. Oh shit, kinda hard. I'm a wash ladder player. Let me see if I can find an old clip of whatever I was good at ladders. My biggest tip is if you want to become a ladder god, you need to play KZ or HNS. Start playing modes like that and be able to do funky shit like this. I mean, it's useless, but it's kind of cool. Oh well. How I explained earlier, coming off of the ladder by moving your mouse directly to the right, that's exactly how this jump works. And then letting go of W and air strafing to the left. Other little small quirks is you can do just random things like this. Come off the ladder onto this. Now, this is all just freestyle movement stuff, but I'll show you all some other real actual ladder tips that are useful for even if you're not a movement player. So earlier on I was talking about how if you don't hold a directional key while going into a ladder, you won't attach it to yourself. Oops, I was holding W there, I didn't mean to. Let me walk into it again. And I didn't attach to the ladder until I got all the way to the bottom. The reason for that is because right as I got to the bottom of the ladder, I pressed W, so I attached myself to the ladder. So watch, you can do this again. You can walk into the ladder, tap W right before you hit the bottom. This is a pretty known trick, but it's pretty easy to do as well. Well, you can do that. I don't really use it much. I like to just use the air and fall down the ladders like that. Once you get good enough at air strafing, you just understand the feel for exactly where you need to land. That's my preferred way of doing it, but I have multiple thousands of hours on movement modes. Another tips is, you see what I'm doing right there. If you tap your movement keys for slow climb, the fuck, struggling to slow climb down, I'm a bit lost. you can be able to make the ladder sound start going. So if you go up, you'll see I went long enough, it made one little ladder noise. If you go exactly before that noise goes, you can just stop. You don't have to wait a certain amount of time, you just have to stop for as little time as you can, and then go again. And make your way all the way up the ladder like that quickly. This is far faster than holding your shift key to walk. Like, see how slow I'm going down this ladder? You see how slow I'm going up this ladder? Ever watch somebody in a clutch do this? Oh, it is so painful. Okay, and for Houdini's final trick of the night, I'm gonna show y'all this shit. I don't understand how it works. Do not ask me. It's fucking weird. It's Source Engine wizardry, but I can show y'all how to do it. So, what you need is a doorway beside you. It's pretty much just a faster way to fast climb down ladders silently, but if your goal is to fast climb down a ladder silently, you need a doorway to make this work, because step one of it is jumping, and when you jump you make noise. But if you jump in a doorway or somewhere where you can hit your head, you don't make noise. So what you're gonna do after you jump, you're gonna keep holding your jump button. So just jump with spacebar. If you don't have spacebar bound and you jump with mouse wheel, you're gonna have to have spacebar binded for this. So I'm still holding spacebar after I just jumped earlier. I'm gonna walk into this ladder and it just fucking threw me off. I don't know what the fuck happened there. That was a strange interaction. Let's go again. That time it worked. I went all the way down. I made a step once I get to the bottom of the ladder. Let me do this again. Jump right here, hold my shift walk. You can do this, you can down ladders very quickly, silently. It's not a strat I use, but I heard a TikTok or some shit that said Monacy uses it, so take it as you will. You can even do the same trick I showed you earlier on this side. So jump in the doorway. Oops, I didn't hold jump button. Jump in the doorway, walk into this. Here we go, we slide down it, and you do a one tap on the guy over there. I still think my method of being able to fall down ladders like this, even if I land somewhere around here, is far better. I like it. Gives me more flexibility, because like sometimes I'll even bust out shit like this. Holy shit. Oh, that was kind of fire. I didn't even have fucking, watch this. SV enable bunny hopping. Nope. SV enable auto bunny hopping. Nope. See? All vanilla, bro. I just hit that shit on the fly. I think that's literally everything I could think of to do with ladders in this game. I mean, we can get into a slightly few more things that I didn't really cover, but I showed upside down ladder climbing and ladder strafing, which that's just doing things different direction. It's not all too complicated, just do it backwards, honestly. Yo, and if you made it to the end of this video, I thank you for watching. If you could leave a like and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. I've been putting a lot of effort into this content recently.